Hello, me and my Wicked shirt are here to talk about, my candle turned off. 2 more hours. We're here to talk about 5 Swiftian conspiracies that I actually have some time and brain space and breath for, because I'm sure if you've been in Swift spaces on any social media platform, you can see that we've kind of gone off the deep end. I'm not exactly sure when it happened. I think it started to like bubble around midnight, and then it just really has like lost it with these last 2 release cycles. I think maybe like the clowning for the TVs is what caused it to really, because there were just so many like possibilities for surprises and like things to hint at, and like the godforsaken Speak Now music video and stuff. I really think that Speak Now music video did more negative things for the fandom than it did for us, I'm gonna say it. But these are things that I've seen floating around the Swift chats that I actually do have thoughts on and would like to discuss, because I'm sure y'all do too. So number 1 is the Super Bowl. A lot of these theories have come from the podcast on New Heights, and things that were said or referenced, and also things that were behind them on the shelves on Taylor and Travis's side, along with like the colored boxes of the CD variants for Life of a Showgirl. And one of those things was the Heisman trophy. It is the trophy that you get for winning the Super Bowl, which the Chiefs have done with Travis in their midst. Actually 3 times. I thought it was only the 2 that Taylor was present for, but it turns out they actually won in 2022, and he was present for that. So that has sparked rumors. It's always kind of been a question mark, because Taylor Swift is sort of a shoo-in for the Super Bowl halftime show. Like, she has the catalog, she has the hits, she has the bangers, she can put on a show, people know who she is, she's a good time, she'll bring the energy up, it all just kind of fits in. But Taylor Swift is number 1, a busy woman, and number 2, the Super Bowl is pro bono. You don't get paid for doing the Super Bowl, you just kind of do the Super Bowl, and that's supposed to be kind of what you get out of it. But as she has so few things that she's yet to accomplish left in her career, I'm sure it's something that she would like to do, that she would like to experience, that she would like to tick off her list. So the Heisman Trophy was in the background, and people think that it is hinting at the fact that Taylor Swift might be keen to do the Super Bowl, or have already volunteered and planned to do the Super Bowl this coming year. There's also another thing that plays into this conspiracy, is that the Super Bowl is actually going to be played at the San Francisco 49ers stadium. The mascot for the 49ers is a 49er like gold miner named Sourdough Joe, because San Francisco is very well known for its sourdough, and so the sourdough of it all. I don't think she picked up a hobby just to hint at that though. I think maybe the trophy was there to hint at that, and I think like the sourdough is genuinely something she's doing, because we've seen the loaves, we've seen the addressed bags of sourdough given to people, so I'm not sure that was itself necessarily a hint. I follow football, but somehow the Chiefs are like a favorite to go to the Super Bowl again this year, which like, if your team isn't that different and like you've gone to the Super Bowl the last 2 years, then like, yeah, I guess you're a favorite. But like, I don't know how football works. I think there's realistically a 15% chance that Taylor Swift does the Super Bowl this coming year in 2026. And that is because there's just so many different scenarios for her to commit. She would have to be okay with all of them. Say the Chiefs make it, and then Travis gets hurt on the field prior to the performance. She also doesn't get to watch the game if she is performing in the halftime show. I think maybe she'd get to watch like the second half if she wanted, but definitely not the first. That's a possibility. Another possibility is that she does perform and they lose, which wouldn't be that bad, I guess, but I think that for the Chiefs to go 3 years in a row, and then for Taylor to do the Super Bowl after she's just had the Eras Tour the past few years, I think that would be a lot for some people. The people who Taylor was talking to when she was like, just what male football fans want to see on their screens, more of me. Those people, I think would be a little bit over it. And I wonder if the NFL cares. Like, I wonder if the NFL is interested in catering to those people, or if they're more interested in catering to the rest of us who would love to see Taylor Swift do the halftime show. I don't know which population is bigger when it comes to like Super Bowl watchers, because I feel like overall the Swifties win out. And so by that standard, I feel like the NFL would rather have her there than not, regardless of the dads, Brads, and Chads. But that being said, he could get hurt if they ended up going. They could not go, and then Travis ends up going to the Super Bowl that his team didn't make it into to watch his girlfriend perform, which really I don't think has to be awkward. I don't think it would have to be awkward unless they made it awkward, but I just think it's easier for her to just not this year and focus on her album release than go in and do it next year, hopefully with some of the bangers that she has coming from this album after Travis is retired and it's not even like a factor. So yeah, all that to say, I feel like there's a 15% chance she does it this year, and I feel like there's a high likelihood that she does it next year or the year after, including some hopefully bangers from The Life of a Showgirl, and then it's just a fun way to kind of bring her back into the football sphere after her boyfriend has retired. But then that 15%, if this album really is that good and full of bangers and she is excited by the idea that she could be playing at the Super Bowl while her boyfriend is also playing at the Super Bowl, if that like ignites her and she's like, we gotta do it, babe, we gotta, then I could see possibly that getting the better of her and her going for it. Conspiracy number 2 is also a shelf item from the New Heights podcast, and that is the Pinocchio. It is kind of weird, and I don't think that they just had one sitting around and decided to place him there. The Heisman Trophy, I think genuinely could have just been like, we won the Super Bowl this year, we're going for another one, and like, it's gonna stay there in the background for the rest of the season of New Heights. The Pinocchio, I think if anything was an Easter egg, it was this. I do not think she was lying. I don't think she was just sitting there bold-faced lying to us. I don't think that's what it's signifying. I don't think like the lying thing is what it's signifying. I think that now, I said my prediction for what Wood could possibly be about in my reaction video to the album announcement. Now I think that Pinocchio is actually a hint at the song Wood, and that Wood is about like someone becoming a real boy or a real girl thanks to an experience or another person or a relationship perhaps. That still jives with my theory that Wood is a romantic song due to it being the title that was on the back of the heart with an arrow through it keychain that comes with one of the CD album variants. The timers counting down to the vinyl variant releases have been counting down in and of themselves. So like the time that it starts at has gotten progressively lower by 1 hour with each timer. Please refer to this image. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, y'all are cuckoo bananas. This is some math numerology. We're not doing this. But I do think that she will be releasing at least one more vinyl variant, and I do think it will be this week, and I do think there will be a timer, and I do think that possibly instead of starting at 3 hours, it will start at 2 hours, and that the 1 hour timer will be for the album release, or possibly for what I think, and this is conspiracy number 4, is going to be the surprise for this album. Instead of a 13th track or a second album, I think the surprise is going to be the Eras Tour documentary documenting the life of a showgirl. What better of an album to release that tour doc in conjunction with than the one that's supposed to be a look behind the curtain. The documentary literally would be a look behind the curtain, the making and the movement of the show as it progressed from start to finish, and I would love nothing more. So I think the last timer is either going to be for obviously the release of the album or the surprise that I think is going to be the tour doc. That's our little extra cookie, our little extra 3 a.m. surprise that I think we're going to get with this album. I think that we are finally going to get the tour documentary. What do I know though? Conspiracy number 5, and that is that there will be a lead single, and I don't think there will be a lead single. I do not think we're getting a lead single for this album. I think that we might get singles, or a single and a music video / music videos. I don't think we're going to get a lead single prior to the album. Sabrina's album drops next week, and in order for that single to be eligible for this Grammy cycle and not kind of like interfere with Sabrina's album release, it would have to be released in this coming week. And for some reason, I just don't see that happening. I feel like this album, just with the short length and like the bombastic feel that she's put behind it and like how excited she is about it, I feel like it's kind of better kept under lock and key and just all released at once. I think the only things that we'll be getting before the 3rd are 1, maybe 2 more album variants, possibly some merch, and that is it. I don't think the documentary is going to drop prior to the album. I think it's either going to drop in conjunction with it or like just slightly after. Let me know if you think I am horribly, terribly wrong or absolutely wonderfully right. These are just my thoughts on the thoughts that I have seen sprinkled about that have caught my attention. Let me know what you guys think. I really, really love to hear it and see that there are like actually people there in the comments, because I see like the views and the likes and I'm like, oh, they exist. Then I get comments and I'm like, oh, they're talking to me. It's so exciting. So please let me know what you guys think below, and I'm so very excited to see you in the next one where we will be reacting to Man's Best Friend. Mwah.